All right, so welcome to the Wildflowers team call. It is January 5th, 2016, which is insane. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen, and tonight's call is gonna be about social media. There we go. You guys can see all of this, right? Okay. So tonight I just wanted to do the call about social media because I feel like, especially as new coaches, like I mentioned before I started recording, it can be really tricky to watch top coaches and think like, oh, great, like, yeah, of course their posts look awesome. And a lot of things happen with that. Number one, it feels like, well, we can never reach that level where we're going to be comfortable. And also we just start comparing ourselves, which I think, I mean, for me, I noticed that I compared myself for a long time, and really it just killed my creativity. So if you're constantly looking at people's ideas, that's great, but look at how they do it, not what they're doing, because if you're looking at it and thinking like, oh, I can never do that, or how can I do that, or you're not going to be able to come up with your own ideas that are unique to you. And social media is all about you. It's always been a topic that I've been really interested in because it's also a way to save time. You know, if people are coming to you, that's the whole point of social media. It's attraction marketing. And I know sometimes it can feel like it's really time consuming to come up with these posts, but you have to think of it like, okay, if I'm coming up with these killer posts, then people are actually going to come to me. So I'm not going to have to in turn send out so many invitations. I mean, you should still send them, but it's going to be more natural because they're going to be attracted to your lifestyle. Whoops, forgot to fix this one. But to get started, I wanted to just tell you and talk through branding yourself, because it's just so important that you realize that when you join Team Beachbody, you're joining, you are the product. It's not the point of Beachbody to hide behind the Beachbody products. In fact, you should always be thinking, how can I attract people to myself, not how can I attract people to anything that is Beachbody, like Shakeology or the programs. So it's important to figure out who you are, and that was really tough for me too. But if you could take some time and really write down, and some of us, I know I've heard this before, but writing down 3 to 5 hobbies or passions that you have, and then sticking with that. Make that your thing. That's your niche. The people that are really into, I put this picture on the corner here, but I somehow didn't clip it out right. But she's talking about, this is Chelsea Pearson. She's awesome to follow if you don't follow her, but she's talking about business. She's switching her personal page to her business page, and she wrote in the in the copy up here, business insights, fashion, home decor, and my everlasting health and nutrition, fitness and nutrition, lifelong journey. Pouring out my heart to you guys. So she's telling you what you can expect from her business page, and she's not saying, hey, it's just going to be nutrition and fitness. It's going to be all of these other things too. So it's important to have those other things that speak to you that you can help people with. And those things can be anything, like whatever you find yourself enjoying in your free time. So if you enjoy like going on Pinterest and finding like ways to remodel your house, or I don't know, like coffee recipes or crock potting, like that's kind of nutrition, but not, or hiking, anything, like whatever your spirit says to you. Like, I mean, I try to speak to exploring and adventure and a kind of like kooky boho mom, but I don't know. So those are my things, but it's like I said, again, my son is yelling that I pooped. Does this happen every call? I think so. Anyway, moving on. Okay, great job. Thank you. Oh my God, I think all of my slides might be messed up. Or maybe not. Okay, Eden, thank you. I'll be right there, okay? So like I said, what do you like to do? What do you search Pinterest for? When you have your cover photo, and I just put these photos because I wanted to show what a good example of a cover photo and a profile picture are. Like I just have these pictures taken. They're not as fancy as they look, but just something that is clear in your face. Like I know it's great. A lot of us have kids, and I had my kids in the picture for so long. But people, this is your business. So, I mean, if you want people to know who you are, like, this is about you. Like, of course we have kids and that's great, but your profile picture should be your face, and then your cover photo. I mean, it doesn't have to be so crazy as mine. I mean, I just tried. I think it's important that people can see who you are and what you're about in your cover photo. So my family, my kids, the mountains, being outside, you know, fitness, and a little bit of my style through my art. So like, if you go through your last 10 Facebook posts, what do those posts show about you? That's, I mean, if you're doing a good job of showing the world who you are, then those are the things that you should want to show people when they come to your wall every time through that cover photo. Kind of give them a snapshot of what they can expect by following you. So your target, and I think this is just a really important point. A lot of times we kind of think going into this that we'll just take anyone we can get. But you need to imagine the perfect person, that person that you would want to work with, your perfect customer. What is that person like? And list those qualities. Do they have kids? Are they married? Are they single? What are their hobbies? Chances are that your ideal customer is probably going to be really similar to you. But that is the person that you should be speaking to when you're posting. So whoever the person is, like, I really encourage you, and I did this when I started, I just made this massive list of all of the things that were me, and then turned that into an avatar, like a person that I could kind of materialize when I was speaking. So when I was posting, I asked myself, if I was reading this post, would that speak to me, or would I think like, oh, that was salesy, or that was a joke, or like that didn't feel legitimate? Could I really feel like I could relate to whatever I was putting out there? So I know that I've heard recommendations. You could even go so far as to print out, like, find an image online and put all the qualities around it. And before you post something, just check in and say, like, you know, does this work? Would this person be interested in what I have to say here? Along with talking to your target, it's important that you're adding value. So an option is to make your profile public. You're going to reach more people. You're going to get more shares once you're adding that value. In theory, you'll be able to go viral if you're sharing a fun video or a recipe or something that people would want to share with others. Adding value is something that we should always do before asking for something. So for those of you that have read Jab, 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 Right Hook, that'll probably sound familiar, but you can't go into your social media post and just ask, hey, join me, hey, join me, hey, you want to coach, hey, you want to do this. You have to add value leading up to that. You have to earn that, I guess you could say, and think of it that way. And we'll talk a little bit, briefly on affinity, but that's another thing too. When on Facebook, it goes, if you post something that has a lot of engagement, the next posts are also going to be seen by more eyes. All the people that engaged will see your next post. So if you're asking for something, it's important that those posts leading up to the one where you're offering a coach sneak peek or a challenge group, all of those posts are really high in engagement. And then that's the time that you would offer your challenge group post, because no matter what, guys, not many people are going to engage with that request to join you on your journey. So examples of value would be tips, motivation, recipes, workouts. And those are things that most of us know, but just it's simple. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can even be just like a product review. I know that I've had really good, that's worked really well for me. I've had a lot of engagement when I've said like, hey, I really like this flavor. Have you guys tried this? Or my kids really like this. And then when you are just briefly, I'm not going to really go into challenge group posts in this webinar, but when you are doing a challenge group invite or a coach invite, it's important that you always add the call to action. And one thing that I found, really quickly throw this in there, that's working really well for me, is just saying like this post and I'll be in touch with you, because that opens the door. You can always say, oh, hey, if you were being supportive, thank you so much, but I noticed you liked the post, so I just wanted to reach out just in case. And that has really opened a lot of doors for me as far as new conversations. Found this gem today and thought I would put it on here. But you always have, guys, this is me when I was in Costa Rica, and I'm about to go in 10 days. And I was like, oh my God, that was me last time I was there. But anyway, be the person that the younger you needed. So think about who you were before you found this opportunity and what you needed, what changes you needed, what health and fitness changes you needed, what mental changes, confidence boost, steps away from just thinking that you were cool because you were drinking all the time, like whatever it was. Like, this to me is a great way to look. If you find an old picture like this, it's probably going to bring up a lot of memories of that person that you were, and you'll probably be able to speak to that person a little more clearly if you have a good memory like this. And like I said in the beginning of this webinar, you might not necessarily be at the finish line, but you are still one step ahead of someone else. So offer what's worked for you. It doesn't mean, like I said, we're not top coaches. We don't have everything figured out. Maybe we're not in the best shape. That's totally fine. I was pregnant when I started coaching. But you do have some things that you've learned through this opportunity that you can share with others, no matter how far into this you are. Chances are you started off as a challenger and you found the program that works for you, or you're on your way and you've learned how to meal plan. Whatever it is, offer that value and offer suggestions. So you want someone to look at, we call it attraction marketing for a reason. So you want someone to look at your wall and say, you know, Dana has such helpful tips and motivation. She always looks so happy. Let me ask her. And then I think I wrote somewhere else, if she could do it, I could do it. And that's what I always strive for. It's not about being perfect. It's definitely about sharing your imperfections, because you want people to think, hey, I could do what that person's doing. I could do that. That's not a problem. And I think when I started off, I used a lot of like fancy graphics and borders and colors and all of these crazy images. And looking back, I feel like, number one, I'm deterred by that now. Like, if someone's doing that, I'm like, oh my God, I can't, I don't want that. But also, it's not like, speaking to your future coaches, you don't want to like leave this idea in their mind that they have to be like great at like putting together these crazy pieces of art for every post either. So that's just something to think about. Sharing versus selling is the big topic, I know, in a lot of our minds all the time. And I know it's tricky, but it's just important that, and I'm going to go into story, because I think it all goes back to stories. That is what social media is about, is being able to tell these little stories in chapters, in paragraphs, broken down into sentences as to how each of these different elements of Beachbody have changed your life. So it's, you know, that's sharing how you're using it, and how you're using Insanity Max or the Performance Line or Shakeology. How you're using these things in your house, how you're streaming because your DVD player isn't working, or you're running out the door because you got to take the kids to school and you can't have a meal. Like, how is it working for you? And then also show your vulnerability in relation to your Beachbody journey. The posts that I've put out there that have been like, hey guys, like, I looked like that girl in the first slide, and I didn't have any confidence, and I didn't know what I was doing, and this is what happened for me. When you're vulnerable and you can admit that you've had all of these fears and anxieties, those are the times you're going to really have that opportunity to relate to people. And that's what social media is all about. It's your opportunity to show people that you have something that worked for you that will work for them, but also that you know what they're going through, and because you've been there too. So open up, because chances are whatever you're going through, someone else is going through too. Whatever thoughts you have about not being good enough or skinny enough or strong enough, or these fears that you even struggled with in the past, other people have those fears too. So share those experiences and doubts, even while you're doing it. You don't have to. For a long time, I thought, oh, I'll share my doubts and fears from like years ago. That's totally fine. But you can share those fears and doubts now. That's like, it's normal. You're a human being. So, you know, you can share. I'm starting Insanity Max, and when I first started, or I'm getting certified in Insanity, and I don't know if I can finish my certification. Those kinds of things are like great opportunities to show that you are relatable. You want to be the friend who's giving good advice about products or a plan, a nutrition plan, a health plan. You're not the salesperson. You're the person, you're that friend. You're not selling, you're solving people's problems. And solving problems, I feel like, is huge. So when you're speaking to someone's not only physical problems, but also their emotional problems, that is when you're going to really tug at the heartstrings and be able to really relate to someone. And like I said, we'll go into storytelling, but solving problems through your own story and experience. Explain what something has done for you and how you've solved that same problem is, and how your customers can expect to solve it too. That is where you're really going to have that opportunity to relate before, and people are really going to feel like they know you before they actually know you. And that's where I was mentioning it cuts down on time actually to be good at social media. Storytelling and breadcrumbing is really what this is all about. It's little stories. They have a beginning, they have a middle, and they have an end. And they always leave people wanting more from you and your story. It's what makes you different and unique. Sorry. Oh, no, put that away. Medicine cabinet. It's what makes you unique. It's what makes you stand out. All of these little stories, they ultimately add up to be your Beachbody story. And so I want to encourage you guys to really think about what your story is, because we all have one. And the real magic comes when you're able to break that down and figure out what each chapter is and what each paragraph is, and be able to speak to those through your post. Another really cool picture I found. Some things to think about when you're drafting up your story. Aiden, come on, stop. No, nail polish is a no. Nail polish, no nail polish. So think about these 3 questions when you're thinking about your journey. I joined because, I am happy I did because, and because of this business, I have the opportunity to do this. These are all questions that can prompt you to be able to generate that story and then speak to your story through your post every day. So what is your story? It's 3 things. It's usually, for everyone, it's emotional, physical, and financial. There's things from each of these categories that have changed for you, or reasons that you've decided to make a change. So think those through. Think all of the reasons your finances have changed, or like what have you ever in your life struggled with self-confidence? Have you had the physical transformation? Have you struggled paycheck to paycheck? I mean, I can say yes to every single one of those, and those are things that a lot of people, I'm sure, can say yes to as well. So being able to tell stories about each of those things, and even if you're not making, like I said, you're not making thousands of dollars a week yet, you know, you can share that you're now able to pay your groceries. I think actually I noticed one of you talked about paying for your groceries in a post, which was awesome. Yeah, Christina. So that's huge. Just fake it till, I mean, it's not fake, but like fake it till you make it. Like you had to start with those small victories. If you are going to post a negative, make sure it turns into a positive. But all of those trials are going to be your triumphs. The struggles are the story. Your mess is your message. Like, these are the things that really speak to people. My kid was trying to eat some nail polish while I was on a team call, but I'm working for my, for my future. And I'm doing this as a mom that's home with her husband working friggin' 15 hours a day. So like, I've been there. I know what it's like. And those are really important things to share, so people can think like, oh, hey, yeah, that girl's doing that, then I could do that too. If they can do it, I can do it. So how do I tell my story? Think in chapters. You leave little breadcrumbs. You think simple. You be silly. Be authentic. And most importantly, and I think something that a lot of people struggle with when they get started, is that you need to post how you speak. And you need to have the clear beginning and middle and end, and then segue back to whatever your main topic is. So if your main topic is, I'm home working with my kids, my main topic is the coach opportunity. But my story is, for example, this morning, where I was sitting next to my son watching Mickey Mouse while I was working on my computer, and that made me happy. My topic is coaching. That is my topic, but my story is, hey, this is what I'm doing on my computer while the fire is lit and my son's sitting next to me and I'm happy. So every story has a topic, but it is ultimately you're speaking to your experience and you're sharing that through a story. And I think once you can grasp that this is storytelling and this business is all about being a professional storyteller, it's when your posts are just going to start clicking for you. Like I said, don't strive to be perfect. Perfect is boring. It's okay to share about the success, but it's not bragging. Just don't admit the parts that got you to where you are. So, you know, like I was here, when I did Insanity Max, I think I wrote in it, like, I stopped for a month because I moved and I thought I was going to be good enough to do it while I was moving, but I wasn't. But here I am, like, I did it. I did it in 90 days, but I did it nonetheless. So things like that, it's not just like, look at me. It's, look at me, I did it amongst this obstacle. Make sure also you have variety. So your story, obviously, through Beachbody is not just health and fitness. It is the coach business. It is the community that we have. So don't share the same topic too often. You could speak to that support system. You could speak to the health and nutrition plan, but make sure you're changing it up. Less is more. Keep it short. You could have a really great post in like 2 words, seriously, if it tells a story and it has an eye-catching image. Be transparent and show how you're learning from your experiences. Like I said, negative is okay, but as long as you have a positive twist. And then at the end, tie your story back to how Beachbody or your healthy lifestyle, your health or fitness lifestyle played a part in your story. So, you know, like I think I posted something this morning about the salad and how my husband used to hate salad, but now I've learned to like it because I'm learning what my body needs or whatever. It doesn't have to be something crazy. It just has to be a story that has a point. Like my point was nutrition. So you know who your target audience is. You know that you're supposed to talk and post as if you're talking to one person, which was a mistake I made a lot. I always said, hey guys, but just talk like you're talking to a friend. And write in a tone that is you. It doesn't, to be honest, I followed Dana for so long when I started, and she's just a lot more emotional of a person than I am. And it felt phony. Like looking back, it feels phony because that wasn't me. Like I'm not the same person as Dana. So now that I've learned to bring my sense of humor into it, my sarcasm and my silliness, and, you know, I can make little jabs at whatever's going on in my house and be fine with it. It just seems a lot more real, and people feel like they know me, like that's the Kelly I remember. You know, I've changed, but I'm still the same me. And believe what you're sharing matters. Be intentional with the story and create opportunity to connect with people. And I mentioned that in an earlier slide, but your posts are always an opportunity for someone to feel like they can do what you do and they can be on the same level as you are on. So think of that purpose. What are you trying to share, and who are you attracting to you? Are they people that want your lifestyle, your fitness programs, your nutrition, your health support? What are you offering through your story? And I just want to point out that the past few coaches that I feel like I brought on my team are coaches that told me, I was attracted to you because I saw you getting to spend so much time with your kids during the day. And I was like, wow, like, that really stuck out to me. Like, it's not even like I really tried, but they were seeing what I was doing. They were seeing that during the day I was with my kids. So whatever you're putting out there is going to be what someone else, you know, wants. Or like if they're looking at your wall and they're like, man, I wish I could have that. Like, what the hell is she doing? That's what's going to work for you. So like I said, I think we went over some of these things already, but pick 3 to 5 things that make you you. And those are mine: adventure, family, travel, exercise, food, and cooking. Ask advice and feedback for engagement. Like I said, this has to deal with your infinity. So it's great to put out all these posts, but every now and then you need to put out a post where a lot of people feel like they want to comment. And I think a lot of times these are great, like, hey, what's your favorite, like mom things are awesome. Like, hey, what's your favorite food, or like, what do I do with my kid who's not sleeping at 10 months, or whatever it is. Like, be a normal human and ask for support. We're all obviously probably having struggles with our kids. Make sure, I heard this once and it stuck out to me too, your Facebook wall, you should aim for it to be a community. So when I see that other people are responding to other people's posts on my wall, I'm like, yes, that is what it is. Like, that's what it's about. When you can get other people to comment and help the other people that are commenting on your Facebook wall. Try to educate and your community and encourage them to engage each other, like I said. Eye-catching photos, and we talked about this too. I personally, and I know I'm sure other people have other opinions, but it's just, I guess one of my interests is photography. So I just really like the pretty photos with the filters. That's my thing. I think they stand out to me. Like when I'm going through a wall and someone has an eye-catching photo with just a filter and it's simple and it has a good story, that's what always stands out to me. And those are the people that I follow. But see what works for you. Like you said, like I said, this is about you and who you want to attract. I know, I don't know, people feel differently about this too, but in my eyes, I think it's okay to speak or show a Shakeology cup every now and then, or speak, oh my God, 10 minutes, I gotta hurry. Speak about, hang on, okay, there we go. It's okay to speak about Shakeology and say Shakeology, but I think when you're trying to attract someone to you, and think about it this way, someone sees your wall, they're not quite sure if they're ready to commit to a program, but they know that they like whatever you're putting out there. Like, would that person that was on the fence, but like kind of want to be healthy and fit, want to just keep seeing Shakeology cups like in their face every day? Like, probably not. But what they want to hear, like every now and then, like, I'm drinking superfoods, like that leaves you wanting more. Like, here I am with my superfoods and like a fun glass. Or like, here I am doing my high intensity workout program, or I'm doing a weight resistance program I never thought I would do before. Those are things to me that stand out because I'm like, well, what is it? If someone says to me, this happens all the time. If someone says to me, hey, do you drink Shakeology? Like, do you sell it? I don't know. Like, that means I'm doing something right in my eyes. If someone has to ask me, then I think that is a positive, because people can buy it on eBay, and you want them to know that it's not just about the Shakeology, it's about you and your support. Don't hide behind the product, promote the lifestyle. So it's all about health and fitness, your lifestyle, health, like freedom, your passion for helping other people, all of the things that make this community and this job so awesome. That's what your Facebook wall should be about. If you put a quote up, I used to do this all the time, just throw up a quote and that was it. And like, no one stops that. That doesn't stop a scroll. But if you put a fun picture up of yourself or like you with your kids, then yeah, like it makes it cute and it's a fun quote and there's a cool picture. Speak publicly to objections. I don't know if you guys saw my big post I made about like people hating me because I had a few people that defriended me. Whatever. I had like the most comments and likes on that post because it was just so honest. I was like, whatever, this is what I'm doing. If you don't like it, then so what? Peace. I think I said peace at the end, which was like scary to me. Like I put it up and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just put that out there. But that is what people want to see, because if you're speaking publicly to objections like that, then like people are going to start trusting you because you're being so completely honest about what the objection is and how you feel about it. Share products that you like. This is value too. Like I said, you don't have to read reviews. People can come to your wall and see what's cool. And if they're attracted to your lifestyle, they're going to also be attracted to those products that you like. And one more thing to think about, when you see the post come up, you always have to click read more. So look what comes up when you have your post up. Those sentences should be eye-catching. If they're not, do something different. Oh God, I gotta hurry. Share through story, be vulnerable, use eye-catching photos. Self-timer is great. Use a mix of video and photo. Think attract, what would make someone want to follow me? Break up the text in white space. Tag yourself 10 to 20 minutes later in the photo so it brings it up in the feed again. That is a new trick that I learned. Social media don't use stock images, don't hide behind a product, not too flashy, blurry, unclear photos. All of these don'ts, by the way, are my images from the past. So there's that. How to use Facebook to engage using story. And all of these I say using story because, again, that's what it's all about, little stories. So like relate to people. This one had so many comments, I don't even know, and so many likes. There's one at the top here. What would you do? Like, or I think I had more on here. What people always write, what dress would you choose if you were me, A, B, or C? And this, I have all the slides I'm going to put in a file in a PDF so you can go through them and read them. But I like the main point of me putting all of these together is to show you that you can speak to fitness, you can speak to the nutrition, you can speak through to the business opportunity by telling a story. It doesn't have to be like, hey, I am a health and fitness coach. Do you want to coach with me? Like, no, it's just telling people what you're doing through your stories. And this is the fitness one. Hey, I'm going to start a 60-day program, ass whooping program. Obviously, that's her. That's her personality. She wants to curse. She curses. She's not saying what the program is really, although you can every now and then, but it's more important to just speak about what you're doing with your journey. Again, fitness. Just telling the story and just like Amy Silverman does a great job of just sharing how she talks. Like it flows like a conversation would flow with your friend. So if you haven't followed her yet, and it doesn't always have to be like workout selfies but these all are. I mean, and say, hey, I worked out, it was great. Now I'm off to the gym, or now I'm off to the grocery store, blah, 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 blah. Like it's a story. So it can have other things rather than just, here is my flexed arm. Offer value. So in the top corner, Erin Morgan, she's really great on Pinterest or Instagram. She's sharing how she sets up her month with her meals. This post I made in the airport about how to travel with kids also had so much engagement because everyone was like, oh, hey, thanks for the tips. So tips on things that you rock at. The bottom one, Chelsea Pearson is her name. She gave encouragement for what to do if you don't feel like working out. The holidays got to you, and think about these 3 things. That's what I'm thinking about. Even just like, hey, at the bottom left, like how to make a coffee. Here's what I do with the coconut oil and a coffee, and I whip up this treat. I didn't know that. Other people don't know that. So you're offering them value. Sorry, I didn't finish this slide. But this is what I meant by product reviews. Like, my kids love these little things. Here it is. They make them happy. A better image might have even been my kid in there, but I didn't do that. Who you are, so your lifestyle. Like I said, those 5 things. So there's someone's do-it-yourself work, another coffee on just a snowy day, like your gym, other classes that you might go to. It doesn't have to be all Beachbody all the time. Shakeology, I feel like, is a tricky one. And again, like, I love the one of the pregnant belly in the top because she's speaking to probably a common objection, which is I can't drink Shakeology while I'm pregnant, while simultaneously sharing Shakeology. So think about things like that. If you can speak to an objection and share, and this is what I mean by like the fancy glasses, or, you know, like just making the image eye-catching. Again, just more Shakeology. The coach opportunity, it's simple. Like, I take my own vacations. I'm on my own schedule. I'm sitting here with my cozy socks on with my kid next to me. These are ways. It doesn't have to be like, hey, I'm making $1 million. Come join me. It can be, this is what my lifestyle is like because I have this opportunity. And these are more coach opportunity ones. I love the one in the top with the different outfits. I work from home, so I got some fashion out of my system. Slippers and yoga pants are waiting for me. Even like I said, the lifestyle thing, like I put the one of me hiking because I was hiking in the middle of the day with my kid. Like, it's not like in my face coach opportunity, but it is because I have that freedom. So think freedom. Think comfort, think being home with your family, whatever those things are that you want out of the coach opportunity. Oh my God, I'm running out of time. So nutrition, foods, prepping, recipes, relatable. It doesn't always have to be something that's great. Christina, I'm sorry, I knew you would be pissed. It doesn't always have to be a story where you're like, I nailed this thing. Like, no, I ate a big pile of pancakes before I started Hammer and Chisel, or hey, I'm trying to make Christmas dinner while my kid's going nuts in the bouncing seat. I don't feel like working out, so I'm gonna put on a good outfit. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to always be perfect. It just has to speak to your audience. These are my don'ts. These are all mine. So, I mean, we all start somewhere. Like, I would never post this now. To me, it's just not me, and it's not my style. And that's important too, is to figure out what your style is and kind of be consistent with that style. You know, like if your style, when you make, I'm going to run out of time. So tonight, if you guys could just focus on putting together your story and breaking it down into chapters and figuring out what it is that makes you unique, that you have to share, that makes you relatable, and brainstorm like a few posts, what breadcrumbing might look like for you. And then there is a image that I'm going to share with like a schedule. So if you're not one that can think on the fly with posting, then schedule it out. Now you know what it is like to share a story and breadcrumb, and you'll also have that calendar of an idea of what to post. I personally just post on the fly, so just whatever, but maybe I should get better at it. But do what works for you. So thank you guys so much for getting on, and I'm sorry we're so rushed at the end here. I had a feeling we would be. But if you guys have any questions about this, let me know, and I'll post this recording and all the slides in a PDF.